my dear children, namaste to all of you. Welcome to yet another super amazing session, super useful session, most importantly, from the Sprint series for ICSE Class 10 2021. And this is Ambika, your biology master teacher, right here on this super duper amazing platform of Vedantu, which is Vedantu 9th and 10th English. All right, guys, let's get started without wasting any time. As you know, in Sprintex, we've been covering a lot of questions for you so that you can face your final exams with much better confidence, right? So today we will discuss a few questions from the chapter Nervous System, which is one of the most feared chapters in ICSE Class 10 Biology, okay? So let's get started. And here is an outline about the chapter, as an outline including 4 major topics. Okay, so we'll be discussing questions from these topics today: structure of neuron, central, autonomous, and peripheral nervous system, brain and spinal cord, and reflex action. Children, you know what? I'll tell you something. Now, although this chapter is very, very content heavy, the good news is that ICSE questions are very, very logical. It's like you don't really have to memorize things, but you really must know the relationship between all the major concepts. And I'm sure you will have it by now. Just in case, even now, say for example, you have no idea about what comes under this chapter, I have a solution for you. You know what that is? Go back to our Umang series playlist, watch every video from there. We've covered everything for you, probably over a few sessions that we completed them, but everything which is part of your syllabus has been done over there. Umang series, one-shot series, bio bites in 15 minutes, everything which has especially been made to make your process of learning a lot easier. All right, guys? Yes. Now, also apart from this, as we always tell you, we are and we will continue being with you till the very end, which means I am talking about the limited period offer on the Vedantu Pro subscription. There is a 50% off up to rupees 1,500 right now. You can just check out the link in the description box below as well as in the pinned comment to know more about this. All right, guys. Now, the homework. Remember, I had given you a homework in the last session. By the way, energy is a little less these days and I can very well feel it. I don't know if you guys have lost that, the josh and that full energy that you had at the start, or I'm not sure what exactly it is, but somewhere that energy is lost, I feel. Okay, please don't stop working hard, children. As long as you've been working hard, as long as you continue working hard, nothing else matters. But I just thought I would share my thoughts with you. Okay, now differentiate between renal artery and renal vein based on oxygen. And the answer would obviously be renal artery brings blood to the kidney for filtration, which means it carries oxygenated blood. Yes, renal artery carries oxygenated blood, and the renal vein would carry, what does the renal vein carry? It would carry deoxygenated blood because it's carrying it away from your kidneys, right? Okay, so this is it. And Aditya, I have your answer right here. Aditya Narayan Pradhan, one of my most regular students on YouTube. And Aditya, quite often you had been asking me, ma'am, why don't you ever put up my answers? So this time I thought I would put up your answer. Thank you so much, Aditya. And Aditya has mentioned it exactly like to the point. Renal artery is rich in oxygen, whereas renal vein is poor in oxygen, or rather, it has to be blood carried by the renal artery is rich in oxygen and blood carried by the renal vein is poor in oxygen. All right, so this is it. Anyway, thank you very much, Aditya, and all other children who gave me the answer to this. Children, remember, for ICSE especially, writing answers like this in very short and crisp format is super important. That's all that you need. Okay, right. Now, children, let me just share the biology schedule with you. As you know, we've been doing all this, and today, nervous system part 1, and the next session will be nervous system part 2. Okay, and after that, we will be left with just endocrine system. And that's it. By the 27th of Feb, which is over the next couple of days, we are going to be done with our Sprintex biology. Time to celebrate. Yes. Now the next one, chemistry. Anubha ma'am's schedule is right here. Ma'am's sessions are also ending on the 27th, which is within the next couple of days. Then physics, Anoop's schedule is also right here on the 26th of Feb, which is tomorrow. So we'll be done with Sprintex ICSE for physics. Wow. And math schedule. Gopal sir's sessions have been happening. Sir will also be done by tomorrow with probability. Make a note of the time, children, so that we are all sharing this with you in every session so that you guys don't miss out on any of them. Okay, right. And then English, Shweta ma'am's schedule is right here for you. Those are all done. Some of these are done. And oh yes, all of these are done. And these are what are left. Yes, so the last three are remaining. And over the next couple of days, English is also going to be done. Social studies. Yes, Ankana ma'am's sessions, which will also be done within the next couple of days. Wow. There we go. Which means by the 27th of Feb, by the day after tomorrow, by the end of the day after tomorrow, we will be done with your Sprintex ICSE 2021. We can then take some time to celebrate. Okay, children, by the way, stay subscribed to this channel because we would love all of you to benefit from all the hard work and sincerity and passion that we put into every single piece of work that we do for this particular channel. And please do click on the like button if you have been enjoying all our Sprintex sessions and been finding them useful for your preparations. And children, please share the links with all your ICSE class 10 friends, because as I always tell you, to be very honest, you wouldn't find too many YouTube channels out there that are entirely dedicated to ICSE 10th. So here we've been doing it. We've been working hard for over a year and a half now. As you know, we started off with biology in 2019, October, if I remember right. And this year, everything, all your major subjects, we are covering them. So please share them with all your ICSE 10 friends because we want everyone to benefit from this. All right. Right, children. Now, my positive quote for you. Stop doubting yourself. Just work hard and make it happen. Just don't give yourself any time to doubt. If you think you are stuck up somewhere, if you keep asking yourself, am I capable of doing this? Will I be able to do this? Am I doing it in the right way? Just forget about it. Just keep working so hard. Try excelling in whatever you do. Be so busy that you don't have the time to doubt yourself, right? So all your dreams are going to come true. You will make it happen one day, for sure. Yes. Okay. Now, the very first question. The part of the brain associated with memory. Super simple one, but super important one as well. Sprint time I'm giving you is only 30 seconds. Yes, part of the brain associated with memory. Think of the forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain, and within them, what are the segments of the brain? And your time is up. The answer is cerebrum, the seat of intelligence, as we can also call it, right? The seat of intelligence of your brain. Right, children? So, and a lot of your voluntary activities and all of those are controlled by your cerebrum, your cerebral hemispheres. Okay, so that's about question one. Super easy. 1 mark is already yours. Define the term nerve. Okay. Now, you all perhaps know what a neuron is. Nerve is also something that you all know, but how do you define it? Yes, it's nothing tricky. It's many neurons put together. But how exactly do we define it? It's a nerve is basically formed of a bundle of axons enclosed in a sheath. So if you remember, this is the structure of a typical neuron. All right. This is the structure of a typical neuron. And this is its axon. This long structure is what we call its axon. Many axons bundled up together and enclosed within a membrane, or rather a sheath, as we call it, forms a nerve. And nerves are super important because they form the peripheral nervous system, cerebral nerves and cranial nerves and the spinal nerves, right? Both of them are super important parts, but how do you define it? This is exactly what they are. All right. Yes. Now the next question. State one main function of the medulla oblongata. Okay. Think about it. I've told you about the cerebrum, now about the medulla oblongata. Where do you find it? Is it part of your forebrain, your midbrain, or your hindbrain? Yes, it's definitely part of your hindbrain. All right, but what does it do? It controls all the major involuntary activities of your body, like heartbeat, respiration, and a lot more. In fact, medulla, along with the pons, which is also part of your hindbrain, is responsible for controlling your respiratory rate and respiration in general. Okay, so this is it, one major function of the medulla oblongata. So, children, remember, forebrain or cerebrum, especially, is concerned with controlling a lot of your voluntary muscular activities. Medulla or the hindbrain, in general, is concerned with more of involuntary activities. All right, but also remember, also keep in mind that the three, the forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain, work in sync with each other. That's also important to keep in mind. All right, but these are generally the specific functions of each of them. Okay, right. Now the next one. What is cerebrospinal fluid? Okay, we abbreviate it as CSF. CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. Well, if you remember, this is the fluid. The name tells you, right? Cerebro and spinal. A fluid which moves around your brain and your spinal cord and helps in lubrication. Helps lubricate your brain and the spinal cord. In fact, it also acts as a shock absorber. So in addition to the meninges, this cerebrospinal fluid is also there to perform the very important function of protection for your brain. This is exactly how your brain and spinal cord remain so well protected. Okay, so this is about it. Cerebrospinal fluid, which moves around your brain and the spinal cord to protect it and to absorb any shocks that they may possibly be exposed to. Okay, so that was question 4 for us. Next one. Okay, even more interesting. What is spinal cord and how is it protected? How would you answer this question, children? I just would like to know that. What exactly is the spinal cord and how is it protected? Okay, just give it a thought. And after that, I'll tell you what I think about it. Okay, so, all right, your time is up. Spinal cord, we can say that it's a major part of your central nervous system. The brain and the spinal cord together make up the central nervous system, right? And the spinal cord is also the center for most reflex actions, most of them, right? So spinal reflexes, or rather those actions, those reflexes which are associated with the area below your head. Majorly, your spinal cord works to make decisions for them, to be involved in them, right? So this is one major function of it. And how is it protected? It's protected inside the spinal cavity of the vertebral column. Now, children, listen to me very carefully. Something I want to tell you is, when I ask you a question, what is spinal cord, in my last several years of teaching experience, you know what I have noticed? Not just children, many adults also have this misconception that spinal cord is equivalent to your backbone. But no, that's not the thing. Your spinal cord is protected within your backbone. The technical term for your backbone is not spinal cord. The technical term for your backbone, the bony structure, is of course the vertebral column. Spinal cord is the part of the central nervous system which extends beyond the brain, beyond the hindbrain, and is enclosed within the vertebrae or your backbone, which you can feel here when you touch here behind your behind the lower neck and behind your entire back. Those tiny little bones are the vertebrae which form the vertebral column. All right, so this is what spinal cord is. Okay, so spinal cord is not your backbone. Spinal cord is a structure found within your backbone. All right, yes, major difference. Okay, I love questions like these. Given below are sets of 5 terms. Okay, rewrite the terms in the correct order in a logical sequence. Spinal cord, motor neuron, sensory neuron, effector, receptor. Yes, very interesting. These are the kinds of questions that I really like, and also like figuring out the relationship between the first 2 terms and then fill in the blanks accordingly. All of those are super interesting. Okay, are we ready? Where would we start? Think about that. Where would this set begin? Yes. Okay. Here is your answer. Starts with the receptor, your sense organs or your receptors in general, which the stimuli come in contact with are your receptors. From there, sensory neurons transmit information to your brain or the spinal cord. But if we are talking about spinal reflexes, we just need to mention spinal cord. So receptor, sensory neuron, which carries messages to the spinal cord, and from there a response is initiated. The motor neuron carries the response away from the spinal cord and sends it to the effector. The effector would be, what are they? The muscles or glands typically. Okay, receptors would typically be your sense organs. All right, yes, this is how it works. Okay, once again, receptors followed by the sensory neurons, which carry information to your central nervous system, which in this case is the spinal cord. From there, a response is initiated, which means it needs a messenger to transmit that information. It's the motor neuron this time, somebody to express, deliver it, right? So motorbike, motor neuron transmits it to the effectors where the effect can be observed, the muscles or the glands generally. Okay, that entirely fetches you 2 full marks. Can you imagine? Wow. Now, children, let's take a very quick break because here it's also important for you to know about not just the YouTube platform that we have at Vedantu, but also about the other platform that we have at Vedantu, a normal, super amazing online classroom, right? So this is the best way to get personalized attention to help you score your best. Well, although we've mentioned here score 100% marks, what we mean is score to the best of your ability. Because I know that most children out there, almost every child out there has huge, immense potential, huge or immense potential to do your best to score 100% marks, but you are probably using less than 10% of your actual potential. This is exactly why personalized attention is going to help you. So children, listen to me very carefully because at Vedantu, we've got unlimited live classes with fun and high-level quizzes. And you can compete with students across India and not just India. You can compete with students across the world as well. And that feels really amazing. It boosts your confidence like anything. And there are interactive replays with live quizzes and leaderboards. Well, what is interactive replay? Children, if you just think about it, it's not possible to attend every session while it's happening live, right? Even over here on the YouTube channel as well, we do have some live sessions. We do have some premiered sessions as well. But whatever it may be, live or premiered, you may or may not be able to always attend it while it's getting premiered or while it's happening live. You might be coming back to watch the replay of it, right? So what is the fun in watching a replay? I mean, it's just going to look like anything that's recorded. I mean, you just don't get the feel of a live quiz. Your name doesn't appear on the leaderboard. So what's the big fun? Well, your questions are solved over here because at Vedantu, on the Vedantu platform, in the pro subscription courses, even the replays are going to be interactive. I will show you how exactly it works. But for the time being, just understand that even if you miss a session while it's happening live, or you just want to have a look at the replay just because you want to look at it once again, the quizzes and leaderboards are still going to be live. Can you imagine? Our technology is that amazing. And children, you can also download premium handwritten content, handwritten notes of your master teachers. And that, I think, builds that personal connect a lot. Well, we do that over here as well. Whatever content we give you, we use to take your sessions on this YouTube channel as well. We give you in the form of PDF right below in the description box. I hope you guys have been using it, but I'm just telling you that on the Vedantu platform as well, we give you everything. The handwritten notes are available to you for download. And apart from this, in-class doubt solving, tests, assignments, and everything to help boost your confidence. Right, children? This is not it, because we've got chapter wise or topic wise micro courses and crash courses as well, which are available for free. In the sense, those of you who pick up Vedantu Pro subscription will get these for free without any extra payment. It just comes along with it. Isn't that amazing? Because I think at this point of time, because we are going nearing the end of the academic year and going nearer and nearer to your final exams, as we go closer to your final exams, it's very important for you to have something like this, a micro course, so that you can just strengthen your grasp over concepts that you are possibly not so good at. This is the right time to do it, children, because on the eve of your exam, suddenly if you are like, okay, I'll go purchase this micro course, then you are probably going to be wasting your money or your parents' money, because you may not be able to use it fully. Right now, if you think about it, you have all the time in the world to make the best use of it. And I will tell you about the pricing. But remember, there is a coupon code which you can apply to fetch extra discounts, AMBPRO, because the 50% off, which I told you, will not be, you can't avail that 50% off without applying the coupon code. So right now, note down the coupon code AMBPRO. And where do you click? Where do you apply the coupon code? I'll tell you about all that. But remember, 50% off is available right now. Children, for the ICSE Pro subscription course, for all your major subjects together, a 1 month subscription's price is 2,699 without discounts, that is. But after 50% off, obviously, divided by 2, 50% off, it becomes 1,349.5. Right. So, but how do you get that 50% off? By applying the coupon code AMBPRO, of course. Right. So now, even further, if you want to come down to calculate the per session cost or the per class price, 1,349.5 divided by 200, and it gives you rupees 6.7 per session. Well, how is it 200? Because in 1 month subscription, if used rightly, you can avail or you can be part of around 200 live sessions. Can you imagine? Yes, 6.7 rupees per session, which is going to be a fun-filled, high-quality, interactive, super amazing session. You end up paying just this much, which is even lesser than your favorite pack of Lays. I mean, a regular pack of Lays as well, not just the party pack. Now, children, I'll make it a little better for you to understand, right? In the sense, in case you are wondering where you can apply the coupon code and things like that. Children, have a look at this. If you just go down to the, yes, I'll just show you that. Yes, children, do you see that? Subscribe to Vedantu Pro, right? Click on this link. I'll just open it in a new tab now. Click on it and all the details will come in front of you. Now you could go on to click on selecting the grade class 10, because this is an ICSE class 10 session. I click on that and select target. So for now, I'll pick up ICSE 2021 because this is Sprintex for ICSE 2021, right? You can choose anything accordingly, CBSE, Maharashtra Board 2021 or 22 for next year as well. That's completely up to you. For the time being, I'll pick up this and look at it. All the features that you need to be aware of are mentioned here. Everything. Who are your teachers going to be, and the frequently asked questions answered, everything is mentioned here. Right, children? What exactly is this? What are the benefits? What languages are they going to be available in? And everything, end to end, whatever you need to know about it is mentioned here. And this is what I was telling you about, children, the 1 month plan, the 1 month subscription, wherein it's 2,699 per month. Okay, so you can just click on proceed to pay. The 2,699 you see here is without the discounts. Okay, do have that idea in mind. Click on proceed to pay, and Look at this. Yes, ICSE Pro Lite 1 month 2699. And now you apply the coupon code AMBPRO. Click on the apply button. There, you're done. 1349.5 immediately. Right? So make sure you apply the coupon code and then choose your payment method. Card, Paytm, whatever it may be. And then you're done. That's it. As simple as that. Okay, children. Now, once you register, what is it going to look like? Your dashboard, your student dashboard will have everything, the upcoming sessions, the past sessions which you might want to have a look at, the replay of, look at that, the date on which it happened, the time at which it happened, and if it's going to be an upcoming live session which you need to be aware of, that will also be part of this. And look at this, the replay button, which you can click and have a look at it just like any regular live session. As I told you, quizzes and leaderboards will still be interactive like a live session. Get notes, if you just clicked on that, you will be able to get the notes, the handwritten notes of your master teacher for that particular session. Yes, children? So this is it. As simple as this, as I told you, be smart in making a decision right now, because on the eve of your exam is not the right time to make a decision. Earlier the better, because we're already in the month of February. Right, children? Okay, now it's entirely up to you. And let us continue with SprintX. Question number 7. The outer portion of the brain appears gray, while the inner portion of the brain appears white. Explain or give reason. How would you explain this? Yes, outer portion is gray and inner portion appears white. Yes, look at that. The outer part, the gray matter, it's made up of gray matter because cytons of the neurons are concentrated over there. These are the cytons and these are the axons, right? This is the cyton and this is the axon. Greater the concentration of cytons, grayer, the more gray the appearance would end up being. Greater the concentration of axons, greater would the white shade be. So in the spinal cord, it's going to be the reverse. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. I'll mention it here for you so that when you go through my notes, you would remember this. Okay, so it's the opposite in the case of the spinal cord. Outer white matter, inner gray matter. The reason I picked up this question is because it's super duper important. Not exactly in this form, but as a diagram based question as well in section B. All right, so be aware of it. All right, now the next one. Draw a well-labeled diagram of a neuron. Name the following parts. Nodes of Ranvier, Nissel's granules, and cyton. Okay, well-labeled diagram of a neuron. I think I've already drawn a rough diagram of the neuron several times today. You can have a look at it, but just think about where each of these would be. Cyton is the cell body, the head of the neuron is the cyton. Node of Ranvier includes those gaps found in between the myelin sheath, found along the myelin sheath, which covers the axon. And what about Nissel's granules? These are specialized structures which you would find in the cyton, which actually is the protein synthesis site, right? The protein manufacturing center of your neuron is going to be what we call Nissel's granules, which is granulated structures, granulated substances which you see in the cyton or the cell body. But why aren't they found in the axon? Well, this is because the cyton is the cell body, literally. It's in the cell body that you would find the nucleus, you would find the rough endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosomes, and all of them. So Nissel's granules includes structures like RER, which is your rough endoplasmic reticulum, and your ribosomes, which help in protein synthesis. Is that clear? Yes. I'm just telling you this for you to be aware of. You don't have to mention the functions because the question doesn't demand it, actually. Right? So Nissel's granules can be marked here. Cyton is this entire head-like structure, which is the cell body. And the last part, which is the axon. And as you can see, these coverings are what we call myelin sheath. And in between them, there are tiny gaps along which nerve impulses can get transmitted. They can just jump, right? If you remember nerve impulse transmission. And those gaps are called nodes of Ranveer. If you remember, I've told you how to remember this. Think of Ranveer Singh. In case, of course, the spelling is different, Ranvier in this case. Okay, but just for you to get an idea about, related to anyone else you know in that name, and you will never forget it. Okay, yes, children. Now coming to question number 9. Differentiate between sensory and motor neuron on the basis of directions of impulse. Okay, very important, and in fact, another way of asking you one of the previous questions that I had already asked you. Remember? Arranging in a logical sequence. This is it. Sensory neuron and motor neuron. If you remember, I had told you all about this. Now, the sensory neuron transmits impulses towards the central nervous system. Motor neuron transmits impulses away from the central nervous system. Right? And there are also interneurons, which you don't have to worry about here because it's not been asked. So this is the answer. Sensory neurons carry impulses towards the brain, or rather the central nervous system, brain or the spinal cord accordingly. Motor neurons carry impulses away from the central nervous system to the effector organ. Effector organ would be, what are they? Yes, I've told you, the muscles or the glands. Okay, so this is it, direction of impulse. This is one thing that I love about the ICSE pattern of questions, because even if a difference between question does come, typically they would specify, the paper would specify which exact point you need to differentiate between based on the direction of impulse, or they might write definition based on definition, something like that. It would be specified. For those of you who have this habit of beating around the bush, this can be a problem. Okay, anyway, with practice, I'm sure it's all going to be very, very simple for you. Right, children, and the last and final question for the day. State the effects of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system on the following organs: blood vessels, lacrimal glands, and the heart. Yes, effects of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system on the following organs. What would it be? Sympathetic, what have we learnt about it? Parasympathetic, and what have we learnt about that? Yes? Okay, now let's have a look at it. Yes, children? Sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic is where adrenaline plays a major role, remember? I know some of my regular children like Akanksha and many others, just the moment I say this, they are like a snake example. Ma'am, you've told us the snake example 100,000 times, and I will continue to tell you. Well, just joking. Don't worry. I will not bore you with the same old stories, but as long as you remember it, I know that I can be confident and sleep peacefully that my children are never going to forget it for the rest of their lives. So, children, sympathetic nervous system acts when you are in a fight or flight situation, like encountering a snake or a tiger. Parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. Right? When you have overcome the dangerous situation and your body is like now trying to get back to normal. When that is the case, just picturize, put yourself in that position mentally, right? And think about what could possibly happen to your blood vessels, lacrimal glands, and your heart. What exactly are lacrimal glands? The tear glands are your lacrimal glands, okay? Found in your eyes. So blood vessels, in the case of sympathetic nervous system, almost all blood vessels constrict. Why so? Because your body is trying to pump more blood, right? So that you can think better and act better to your muscles and all of those organs. It's trying to pump extra blood. Parasympathetic nervous system, it's more of dilation because rest and digest, right? Lacrimal gland, you are in a dangerous situation. Naturally, you might secrete tears. Lacrimal glands might do their job of opening out the waterworks, which are your tears. And parasympathetic nervous system stops the secretion of tears because you are now back to normal resting and digesting state. You don't want to really cry right now, do you? Yeah, you wouldn't. Now the heart, what would happen to your heart? In front of a snake, in front of a tiger, heartbeat, tuck, 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 increases. Whereas parasympathetic nervous system, you are coming back to normal, heartbeat decreases. Right, children? So the best way of answering a question like this is in the form of a table, but is it going to be this or that? Sympathetic nervous system feels sympathy for you because you are in a dangerous situation. Just think of it like that and put yourself in that situation, imaginary situation, and I'm sure you will come up with the right answer. Try this out and see for yourself how the magic works. All right, now children, the homework question for you for today. State the functional activities of myelin sheath. I've shown you what myelin sheath is. So think about it and list out the functional activities of the myelin sheath. Let's see if you guys come up with better energy and better josh. So children, we will discuss more about the nervous system in the upcoming session. We've covered a few questions from almost all of these topics: structure of neuron, central autonomous and peripheral nervous system, brain and the spinal cord, and reflex action. Now children, this is our current session, 25th of February, nervous system part 1. Our previous session happened 3 days ago, which was on the 22nd of Feb, excretory system. Our upcoming session is going to be tomorrow. So I'll see you again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Do not forget, 6 p.m. tomorrow with part 2 of nervous system. Okay. So children, also remember 50% off on Vedantu Pro subscription. Check out the link in the description box below. The coupon code, remember, it's going to be AMBPRO. Without applying this, you won't get the 50% off. All right. So children, stay subscribed to our channel because, as you know, Sprint Tech series is soon coming to an end, but we will be coming up with something new in the days to come. And do click on the like button right now if you have found this session useful, and please share it with all your class 10 ICSE friends as well, because the more the merrier. Let's spread the word about this channel, because on Vedantu 9th and 10th English, we work very, very hard and sincerely for you with full passion and dedication. So we would love it, in fact, if as many children as possible around the world could benefit from what we do here. Right, children? So that's about it from my side. I'll see you again in yet another super amazing session. But until we meet again, remember to stay happy and stay healthy. Bye-bye.